statutes, but you cannot legislate attitudes and behavior. So you know what I mean? But you can make behavior consequential. You know what I mean? In other words, they can do what they want to do and no consequence with impunity. You know what I mean? And that's what we got to fight, the system that makes wrong right. You know what I mean? And this is what we have here, and that's my job, to be able to dedicate my time and effort. Because when I first signed the two athletes, the most powerful at that time in the world, I couldn't get an eye water to cry with here in America.
Well, I want to talk to you about that because there's no doubt you were the first African American boxing promoter on the scale of an international scale. What were the hurdles that you had to come through just overcoming the racial part of being a boxing promoter?
It was very difficult because the images that I gave you, or the labels that I gave you as the stereotype image of African Americans in America, and I went through the whole cadre because before they got to African Americans, just a few short years ago, we were brown, we were blacks, we were colored, you know what I mean? So you got to go to each one of the categories that they fit in for you to be able to have. However, I signed these two guys and thought I did something remarkable. And in effect, it was remarkable, but not here at home. So I had to go out and go around the world. I just had a determination that I was not going to fail. And so I had to go from one place to the other. My first backer was King Faisal. King Faisal of Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, he died.
Now we're talking about the Rumble in the Jungle, the fight that eventually became the Rumble in the Jungle.
The Rumble with Foreman and Ali. And so now, then we have to go through everywhere we go in England, and Jack Solomon, who was the chairman of Ladbroke, that's the gambling institution in there, and so he told me that if I got these two guys to sign, that he would back it. But when I did it, he said, I never thought you could do that, you know. So therefore he backed out. So finally, in praying to God and God leading me, a fellow named Fred Weimar, he came to 2-4, and he was an advisor to Mobutu Sese Seko in Zaire, President of Zaire, and so he introduced me to him, and then the president of Zaire put a guy with me named Banduga Hula, and from there we pulled it together because, and even in that,
because there was an issue of raising the money for that fight.
It was an issue of raising the money. It was an issue that, you know, they said that a black couldn't do this, he couldn't do that, and it was everything, because all the time that I was trying to go to people, they would say they couldn't do it, but then they go back behind me to the fighters and try to bribe them and say they would do this amount for them and that another, you know. So it was an arduous journey, but the reward is in the journey. I persevered, and I have to say that George Foreman and Muhammad Ali stuck with me because, you know, they wouldn't. Because the difference of a period interest in the psyche of the white psyche in regards to black, I was offering them $5 million apiece, and even if they were trying to steal them, they wouldn't offer them the $5 million,
right?
Because they didn't think they were worth $5 million. You know what I mean? And so that helps me with their way of thinking. You know what I mean? Ain't no end worth no $5 million. So, you know, this is that helped a little. But these guys stuck me, even if they gave up with the amount of money. I had both of them signed, and so then I had an opportunity when I talked to Mobutu, who put up the money. He went along with it, but even him, he put up the money. And he had a guy who works in his bank. You know, he's one of the fourth or fifth wealthiest men in the world at the time. Mm-hmm. And he had his man to give me, you know, write out a letter of credit or whatever it is. You know, they call it a tested key credit line in them days, you know.
Right.
And so he, the bank, we was going to get that text before the day I was going over there to talk to Herbert. And the money didn't show up, so Herbert went to Libya to see Muammar Gaddafi. All right, so he said, Judge, I'm gonna tell you now. He says, I'm gonna be honest with you. He said, if you don't have that money, this deal is gonna be killed, you know. He said, I understand what you are and what you're trying to do. He said, but I just got I gotta look out for Muhammad. I'm going to cancel this deal. And so I said, okay, all right. In the meantime, my due date, the banker supposedly got sick. I'm in Belgium. And so I tell Manduka Mula, I say, Manduka, I said, I don't believe this man is sick. I said, you know, if I miss this date, I said, we're going to lose this fight, and your president's going to be embarrassed. And so he says, he wrote a text back to Mobutu, and he said, I found a strong black man. And he says he believes that it's going to be some type of skullduggery, and that the banker ain't sick because the banker feels that he should not give a black guy no 10, 11, $12 million. And so he thinks he's protecting you under the auspices that he's protecting you. He's going to knock out your word. Sure enough, Mobutu sends out the guards to go see about the banker at his house. The banker is sitting at the poolside drinking cocktails, you know what I mean? And so now, Mobutu, they put him inside. That's what they call it in there. I don't know much about that, what afterwards. But now, that made Joseph Barclay, who was 80 years old, come out of retirement because he knew Mobutu personally. And I think he wanted to save this guy's life. And so he intervened, and he put up the $5 million at Barclays Bank for each one of the guys. And then we got that going on. But I'm still in breach because there's a time. God would have it. The lights in Libya went out. All the sound in the whole country, they couldn't get nothing out, they couldn't nothing in, while Herbert was over there with Muammar. And so it was like a blessing from God. So when he did come to the phone 3 or 4 days later, the money was there, you know what I mean? So it's really a story of faith.
That's a lot of perseverance because you had promoted the fight and you still had to get the money to get the fight on.
To get the fight on.
I want to talk to you about a couple of things that occurred during this fight that a lot of people may not have been aware of. It was a music festival also.
Yes.
And something happened during the training that kind of derailed the plans of that fight. Foreman got injured.
Yes.
And what happened and what were you thinking then?
Well, when Foreman got injured, it was the fight, he wanted to go home. And I had to have help to show you what to do when you have to work as a team. There is no I in team. And so Big Mo was one of the guys, he was his spiritual advisor. And so when everybody's going through all the things that Foreman thinking about going home, you know, maybe because all the people in Africa were hollering Ali Boumaier, and that means Ali kill him, you know what I mean? And as fans would have it, and Foreman couldn't understand. He said, "I'm black too. Why are they saying why are they doing this to me?" You know. But he had bought those police dogs, you know, that the Belgians had used in their colonialization.
Those German shepherds.
German shepherds, you know what I mean? Yeah. That was there. So. But anyway, what happened is we got in there with this fight, and by Big Mo, the spiritual advisor, he talked to Foreman, and Foreman stayed. So it would have been for Big Mo, I'd have been in big trouble because he's going to go and come back. And if he had ever got out of there, he was never coming back, you know what I mean? So Big Mo saved the day for me.
Before we go on to the next big fight, everybody thought that Foreman was going to destroy Ali. Many people felt the fight was a mismatch from the beginning. Of course, Ali shocked the world. But what were your thoughts? Did you think it was a mismatch?
That's how I got the fight from the very beginning. I had Ali. Foreman, when I went to see Foreman, he said, "I don't want to fight him." I said, "Why?" He said, you know, if I beat him, they're going to jump on me. I'm going to lose my career because he's an icon, and I'm going to be the one that knocks out the icon, and I'm going to hurt him, and I don't want to hurt him. And he says, I don't want to be, and then furthermore, he's too old. He said he's old, and then if I beat the old man, then they're going to look at me with disdain because I done beat the old man. And to top it all off, he talks too much. I said, that's it, George. Let's shut his mouth. I understand what you're saying on that, but you got to shut his mouth for you to get your just due. You will never get recognized if you don't shut his mouth. He said, that's a point. That's a point. And on that basis, on the mouth-shutting theory, you know what I mean, I talked him into being able to do the fight. And I told him this was history. I said, we as black people, you know, working together, and we're demonstrating that we can rise to the occasion, that we can make things happen, rather than always looking back with some excuse about why you didn't do it. And you say, well, they're going to say, well, you say, you know, that the white people would be against us anyway, you're going to block you. I say, but we know that, so therefore you can't use that as an excuse. That's a reality. I say, you know, what we have to do is let's do all we can do. And I said, if we in unity and solidarity together, we can make it happen. He said, okay, we'll take the shot. And so we got Foreman to go along with this lawyer, Steve Baumser, and he signed 7 blank sheets of paper. And with the lawyer saying, sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here. And me and Steve Baumser put that contract together. And then Steve would call him on every paragraph and read it to him and said he okayed it. And so Foreman lived up to every bit of it. He was really a remarkable guy.
And did you feel that he thought he was just going to dominate?
Yes, he was. He thought he was going to destroy him. You know.
And he had destroyed Frazier earlier.
Yes, he had thought he was going to destroy him. Wasn't no question about that. And then when Ali, unbeknownst to all of us, he introduced the rope-a-dope. So, you know what I mean? He let him punch himself out, you know what I mean? And then he picked and chose to get his blows in, and then the 8th round, he took him out.
And before we go on to the next big fight, what's your favorite memory from that fight?
My favorite memory from that fight is the demonstration of unity among ourselves, because we all have deeply ingrained in us a self-contempt image-wise of ourselves, because this is what they did to us from the time in slavery with the 238 years, 300 years of slavery here, 238 years is our country's age. But, it was an ingrained thing that they would make you feel that, you would make allegiance to the person that really want to destroy you, to the master, you know what I mean? But you go against, yourself, self-destructive, you know what I mean? So this type of mentality we have to try to change as this day, right, this way you speaking. Because what happens is, they've under the thing of trust nobody but the master, the Willie Lynch theory came in, and he told them the ways that they can make a slave and how they control the slave, and it would be for 300 years, it may go for 1,000. Well, at the same time, when we were reading this, Hitler was saying in the Third Reich, there would be 300 years, and it'll be 1,000. Hitler lasts 12 years. Willie Lynch had his birthday in 212. He was 300 years old, and it's 215 now, and he's still rolling. You know what I mean? It's self-perpetuating. You know what I mean? And so, by me reading and always staying up with what it is, and I would tell it to Ali, tell it to Foreman, and Ali, no one can truly say how good he really was. Because at the height of his career, he stood that he was not going to go, to fight in Vietnam because it's a country that's his objective. And so he lost 4 years at the height of his career. And after the 4-year exile, when the Supreme Court of the United States, vindicated him, then he came out and did all these remarkable things after that. So therefore, you got 4 years in law that you would never have known how really great he really is. So I always say, every knee must bend, every head must bow, every tongue must confess that thou art the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. So I coined that phrase for him. But he was remarkable. He stood his ground, and when he stood his ground from there, he was at my nightclub. He used to come there and sing, Stand By Me, and all these things. So out of the memory of that fight, it shows what you can do if you have faith and you believe in yourself, confidence in yourself, and you also have another person of your kind and your ilk that will rely upon, you can rely upon what they say, and they can rely upon what you say. So that's one of the big common denominators, that if we use that, it can be for the benefit of everyone, because no one lying is worse than stealing. When you lie, you can be, you make a deal or a pact to do something, I'm going to rely on what your job is to do, you rely on my job to do, we can make it carry it through. But if I'm at point B and you somewhere doing something else, that's our Napoleon loss, Waterloo, But the idea is that shows you that self-confidence and that self-respect for yourself. You can happen. And so we had 3 black guys here, and we made the pact, and we walked the walk, and we talked the talk, we lived it up. And so that was the beginning, of demonstrating to the world, yes, I can, when everyone else says, no, you can't.
And I want to talk about one more historical fight before I get into conversations about the state.